Good evening and welcome back to Mission Control Houston for continuing coverage of the rendezvous and docking of the next trio to join the crew aboard the International Space Station as Expedition 33 crew members, Soyuz 35 crew members, Fyodor Yurshikin, Karen Nyberg, and Luca Parmitano hone in on the International Outpost as it orbits approximately 250 miles above Southeast Asia. Here in Mission Control, the team is watching carefully over systems of the International Space Station, making sure that it's ready to accept its new crew members aboard their Soyuz TMA-09M vehicle. The trio is now continuing its approach to the International Space Station per the normal timeline for rendezvous and docking. Again, docking is scheduled to occur tonight at 9:16 p.m. Central Time. While we've been away, there have been a couple of minor issues that the control team has been working as part of the normal activities leading up to a rendezvous and docking of this nature. Various systems on the space station are oriented to put the station in the proper location for the arrival of the Soyuz to the Rassvet module. There also are activities according to the plan to latch down beta gimbal assemblies, which are part of the solar arrays that help the space station's electricity generating power plants track the sun. One of those arrays, which has had minor difficulties in the past latching, didn't last the first time, but after a couple of tries they were able to get that latched and is now in a good position. We have handed over control of the orbiting outpost's attitude or orientation relative to the Earth from the American electric-driven control moment gyroscopes to the Russian chemical thrusters. Mission Control Moscow is now in charge of the control of the orientation or attitude of the International Space Station.
043300.
Mission Control is talking with the crew of the Soyuz spacecraft, commanded by Fyodor Yurshikin. And just about 24 minutes after the hour, the Soyuz crew reported they had a visual sighting of the International Space Station, a good sign as they continue to travel toward the space station according to the plots that are planned. Now about 8,000 meters away from the International Space Station, approaching at about 12 meters per second.
Command has been sent. Roma 17. At 043307. 8 kilometers.
We are now 42 minutes and 12 seconds away from the planned docking. A lot of work yet to be done with several different impulse firings of the Soyuz engines to fine-tune the approach to the International Space Station. The fly-around mode should start at about 8:51 p.m. Central Time, and after that we'll do some station keeping starting at 8:58 p.m. Central Time, and then the final approach to the space station should begin about 9:05 p.m. Central. Again, all that aiming toward a rendezvous at the Rassvet docking module on the International Station at 9:16 p.m. Central Time.
We're standing by for stabilizing of the mode.
We do have some recorded video from this afternoon's launch from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, Houston time at least. Let's take a look at that video now.
You're receiving video on your...
And those were the sights and sounds from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan as an evening launch at about 70 degrees, a beautiful day on the steppe of Kazakhstan as Kara Nyberg of NASA, Luca Parmitano of the European Space Agency and the Italian Space Agency, and Fyodor Yershikhin of the Russian Federal Space Agency blasted off for a destiny with the International Space Station. Here in the flight control room, again, the team is watching over all the space station's components and systems, making sure that it is ready to accept the new visitors. Royce Renfrew is the flight director in charge of the team for this Orbit 3 shift, with Kate Rubins, astronaut, serving as spacecraft communicator, talking primarily with Chris Cassidy, working in the American segment of the International Space Station, as flight controllers in Moscow talk with their Russian colleagues on board. Alexander Masurkin and Commander Pavel Vinogradov as they prepare the Russian docking port for the arrival of the Soyuz and its crew members. Again, today's launch occurred at 3:31 p.m. Central Time, right on the money, and the Soyuz climbed into the sky above Kazakhstan on its normal place with all of its systems functioning exactly as planned.
And there are no issues to report. All systems are nominal. Copy, Olimpo. Thank you.
And as you heard there, no problems with the Soyuz vehicle or with the station systems, all systems nominal. And we are proceeding toward a rendezvous and docking in 38 minutes from now.
I have a very clear image of the station at the center of VSK. Copy. Moscow Station. We have the video image now. It's kind of all scrambled, but we do have the image. Okay, and it's 043840, 4 kilometers, and range rate is almost 12, but closer to 11.5 meters per second, and the station is at the very center of Veska. Excellent, and we have a video now. Copy. Maneuver in progress. The station is going up and to the left. Almost.
We're getting some great views from the external cameras on the International Space Station as it orbits high over Australia and the northeastern coast of that continent. We're standing by for an on-the-spot interview for the activities going on at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan following launch, where dignitaries and family members will be watching as the rendezvous and docking take place this evening.
All is nominal.
We are standing by to go to Rob Navius, our public affairs officer that's on site at the Baikonur launch site. Let's go to Rob now and find out how things are going there. Welcome in, Rob. Good to see you.
Kelly, welcome to Baikonur, Kazakhstan. We're in a vintage 1960s auditorium called the Tsenki Hall. This is a hall that was used half a century ago by Russian communications specialists as they sought to relax and watch movies from time to time, taking a break from their work. It's been just about 5 hours or so since the launch of the Soyuz from the Cosmodrome, which is about 40 minutes away. It was a jubilant crowd out at the viewing site for that liftoff under cloudless skies, gorgeous weather in the pre-dawn hours today. That adrenaline has carried over, and within a few minutes, guests, family members, and VIPs will be coming into the hall here to watch the docking of the Soyuz to the Rassvet module, and about an hour or so later, the opening of the hatches to double the size of the Expedition 36 crew. Now, behind me, in these seats, shortly will be family members in the second row. They'll have an opportunity through the magic of the Internet and through some incredibly heroic efforts by NASA communication specialists here in Baikonur to pull in a NASA television video feed into this auditorium and to set up voice loops on a laptop computer that will enable the family members and the VIPs to communicate with the crew members, Nyberg, Parmitano, and Yurchikhin, as they float into the International Space Station to begin their half year aboard the orbital outpost. Also, we expect congratulatory calls to the crew from Bill Gerstenmaier, NASA's Associate Administrator for Human Exploration and Operations, from Jean-Jacques Dordain, the Director General of the European Space Agency, before we move on to hear from the family members as they speak to their loved ones. It is almost a surrealistic scene here at the Tsenki Hall in Baikonur, Kazakhstan. We've gone from the future back to the past, using technology from today and in the future to bring everybody together from here on Earth to the International Space Station. Now back to you, Kelly.
All right, thanks, Rob. And while you were giving us that update from the Baikonur Cosmodrome, the Flight Director Royce Renfrew went around the room here for the go, no-go poll for readiness to dock to the International Space Station, the Soyuz 35 vehicle and its three-person crew, and got a unanimous go for docking from all of the International Space Station flight controllers here in the room. We have a view of the Soyuz as it begins to approach the International Space Station, coming within visual range of the external cameras on the exterior of the station. The Soyuz now about 2,000 meters away from the International Space Station, continuing to approach at a rate of about 5 meters per second.
310. A little less than 2 kilometers, 5.35 range rate. Copy.
And so about 2 kilometers until the Soyuz reaches the International Space Station. There are several more impulse bursts from the Soyuz thrusters to help refine this approach as the automated Kurs docking system continues to control the Soyuz and its arrival at the International Space Station. The most recent Progress vehicle to rendezvous and dock to the International Space Station, Progress 51, had some difficulties with deploying the Kurs antenna that's used for the automated rendezvous and docking system. No such problems with this Soyuz spacecraft. All the antennas and appendages deployed exactly as had planned, and so the Soyuz continuing its stately approach toward the International Outpost. Both vehicles traveling at approximately 17,500 miles an hour, circling the globe every 90 minutes. Right now circling overhead of Australia. Some amazing views from the external cameras on the International Space Station of the Australian continent below.
5.17 meters per second range rate. Olympus. All systems are nominal. Olympus. Can you switch AJC mode back and forth by sending command R5 to see if we can get a clear picture?